Hello guys, and welcome to a new review video. I'm really excited as I just received this new product. So let's start the review video.
Nancy pricks her finger. The test strip fills up with blood. The wheels spin on the electronic screen. She says a little prayer to the man upstairs. The number reads 325. Damn! It's a whopping 200 points higher than what it should be. Why did I eat the bagel? Nancy asks herself. Why can't I have more self-control? Does that sound familiar? You try to eat healthy because you believe if you eat all the right foods at the right times and give up carbs and sugar, you won't become diabetic, and you'll finally hit the blood sugar sweet spot. If this is what you're doing, stop. The latest research shows that sugar may not actually be the main cause of diabetes after all. In fact, you could avoid sweets for the rest of your life, and you'd still be at risk for getting type 2 diabetes. Hi, I'm Alex Del Pizzo. I'm the lead researcher at Simple Promise, an 8-figure health company that serves over 400,000 people worldwide. For the last 15 years, we have partnered with doctors, naturopaths, surgeons, and scientists across the globe to discover and bring to market breakthrough health solutions. I've dedicated my life to uncovering and sharing real, proven science, health science everyday people can use and benefit from right now. And let me tell you, as a researcher and as someone who was a health coach for over a decade, I'm no stranger to blood sugar issues or diabetes. And sadly, I've seen firsthand how diabetes can destroy lives. But I've also seen how people like you can stabilize blood sugar levels and live a normal, happy, healthy life with this breakthrough blood sugar solution I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes. And don't worry, you don't have to take another new drug or give up sweets or carbs. Sounds too good to be true? Well, let's look at the science. Take a look at this chart. It shows the history of sugar consumption and diabetes in the U.S. The blue line is sugar consumption. The red line is the percentage of folks with diabetes. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? The blue line shows us we've been eating sugar for over 200 years. Yet, look at the red line. Diabetes was rare until the 1990s. That simply doesn't make any sense. Now, you're probably wondering, why weren't these people who are eating lots of sugar getting diabetes? What's going on? And if sugar isn't the cause of diabetes, what is? Ready for the truth? Meet Dr. Joe Pizzorno. He's the founder of Bastyr University, the first fully accredited university of natural medicine in the United States. And recently, he discovered a diabetes breakthrough. Let me show you what I mean. Take a look at this chart. It's the same chart as before. The red line is the percentage of folks with diabetes, and the blue line is the history of sugar consumption. But now there's a black line. Do you see it? Notice how it's going up at the exact same rate as diabetes. Is it possible that these two things are connected? Could there be a hidden cause of diabetes that the medical community has been ignoring? Now, obviously, correlation isn't causation, but these numbers are hard to ignore. And if these are connected, we've got a bigger problem because this black line, we've been ingesting it in our food and putting it in our bodies without knowing it since we were born. And guess what? This black line is also in your shampoo, bed sheets, nail polish, the bubble bath your grandbaby uses. And that's not all. This scary black line appears to be causing a diabetes spike in our country and around the world. And it can also be found in our water. The same water you drink and wash your face with and brush your teeth with. So what is this sinister substance that we're ingesting, putting on our skin and drinking? It's a group of chemicals and toxins called diabetogens. That's diabetogens. And get this, when some of these diabetogens enter your body, they break your insulin, making you insulin deficient or resistant. In other words, the more exposure you have to these chemicals, the more out of control your blood sugar gets. And according to Dr. Pizzorno, these chemicals can actually double your risk of getting diabetes. That's why researchers now call these chemicals diabeto, for diabetes, of course, and gens for produces. Now, there are several types of diabetogens, but there are three main ones that you need to really watch out for. I'm going to reveal their names here in just a moment. But first, I want to share a plan I give all my clients who want to detox and get their insulin working again. And don't worry, I won't make you eat cayenne peppers, celery juice, or bone broth for breakfast. I'm not talking about those detoxes. This plan I'm about to share with you has two phases. Phase 1 is to reduce your exposure to diabetogens. This is easier said than done. As I mentioned, many of these toxins are in our food and water. Some of them are even in healthy foods, like bone broth and brown rice. But don't give up hope. It's possible to limit exposure, and I'm going to share some quick tips in just a second that will help you. Phase 2 is getting your blood sugar under control now. These chemicals aren't going away. The world today is just not what it used to be, so it's impossible to avoid them 100% of the time. Even if you were on lockdown, like it's the coronavirus, you wouldn't be able to escape them. That's why this step is vital to the process. It will help you control your blood sugar, even in today's toxic world. Okay, so to summarize again, Phase 1, try to avoid diabetogens. Phase 2, build up defenses and get insulin working again. I'm going to tell you how to do both in this video. So let's start with Phase 1. Let's talk about the diabetogens you need to avoid now. Counting down. Let's start with dangerous diabetogen number 3, arsenic. Arsenic is a heavy metal. You want to avoid arsenic because when it enters your body, it can turn your pancreas into a sloth and keep it from making insulin properly. Arsenic has been finding its way into our food supply for years, but lately it's been showing up in brown rice. So if you can, avoid brown rice. And if you have grandchildren, they should avoid rice cereal or rice milk. Arsenic can affect development and IQ levels. If you're like me and you don't want to give up brown and black rice, just make sure it's organic. Or eat jasmine rice that has been grown in North India, North Pakistan, or Nepal. Studies show rice from these regions have less arsenic. It could be because they harvest during dry season. Okay, on to dangerous diabetogen number 2. Ready? It's BPA. I'm sure you've heard of BPA. It's in almost every piece of plastic ever made. Did you know it's also in canned foods? Basically, many canned food containers are lined with a very thin layer of plastic. Take a look next time you open one and feel how smooth it is. This plastic is supposed to prevent the metal can from contaminating the food. However, more often than not, these plastic linings contain BPA. And when you eat this canned food, BPA enters your body, and it blocks your insulin receptors. In other words, it doesn't matter how much insulin you have. If you have BPA in your body, it won't let insulin go where it needs to go. It's like if one day you went to your front door and the key didn't work anymore. And get this, just eating 2 servings of canned soup a week with a BPA liner could double your risk of diabetes. Just 2 cans. That's not a lot. So, if possible, please avoid canned foods, or make sure they have a BPA-free liner. Next time you go shopping, look for this logo on all your canned foods and packaging. Now, the final diabetogen I'm going to reveal is a big one. The number 1 diabetogen to avoid at all costs is PCBs. PCBs are chemicals that were put in plastic, oil paint, appliances, tape, you name it. These are so dangerous. They were banned in 1979. Now you may be wondering, why should I care about a chemical that was banned over 40 years ago? Well, you should care because we're still ingesting it. You see, it's in our water system. You can find PCB-contaminated water in Oregon, Los Angeles, New York near the Hudson River, and even in Ohio. In fact, as recent as 2017, Portland, Oregon sued Monsanto for dumping a bunch of PCBs into their water supply. Now, are PCBs in your water? I can't say for certain. That's why I tell all my clients to have their water tested. It's important to know either way, because when PCBs enter your body, they make you insulin resistant. They increase your cholesterol levels and your risk of heart attacks. Not to mention, PCBs can stay in your body for up to 30 years. It's even found and passed through breast milk. So if you have a daughter or daughter-in-law, let her know. I can go on and on. PCBs are really scary. Avoid them at all costs. Now, that's phase 1 of my 2-phase plan. As I mentioned before, it's impossible to avoid toxins all the time. We don't live in the same world our grandparents did. Our world may look the same. If you look out your window right now, you may see houses, roads, and trees. But everything behind them, all of those chemicals that make them up, aren't the same. Our world is contaminated, and sadly, we are paying the price. Today, 50% of everyone in the U.S. have either diabetes or prediabetes, and the CDC estimates 80% of those people with prediabetes don't know they have it. So even if you don't have diabetes right now, or don't think you do, you could in the near future, which is why it's vital that you learn how to control your blood sugar today. Let's get into phase 2 of my plan. So how do you control your blood sugar in today's toxic world? The good news, it's not another drug. That answer is actually found in the forests in Philippines. The answer is the banaba tree. You may have heard of it. Dr. Oz, Dr. Mark Hyman, and Dr. L. Sears have all raved about it. It's been used for hundreds of years by medicine men to ease bladder inflammation, remedy constipation or bloating, and help with weight loss. But most fascinating of all, they used it to help their patients' erratic blood sugar. How? Well, back in the day, when patients started to feel lightheaded, got extreme sugar cravings, got really thirsty, had a lack of energy or that hangry feeling, they'd tell their doctor. And their doctor would go out and pick the overly ripe fruit and bright orange leaves from the banaba tree. They'd dry it for a few days and turn the mixture into a tea. Finally, they'd tell their patients to drink this tea 6 times a day. What these ancient doctors didn't know at the time, and what modern scientists later discovered, was that this dosage of tea had the equivalent effect of 6 units of insulin. 6! Crazy, right? So how is this possible? Well, it turns out these mature leaves and fruit from the banaba tree contain very high levels of cortisolic acid. And when cortisolic acid is in your body, it helps your body process sugar again by getting your unresponsive cells to open and accept sugar. Then, the sugar leaves your blood, which is great because then you can have and maintain healthy blood sugar levels. But don't just take my word for it. Again, let's look at the science. There is study after study showing its power. One study showed that people who took cortisolic acid for 2 weeks had a stunning 30% drop in fasting glucose levels. Another study showed blood sugar levels even decreased within just 60 minutes. But that's not all. Additional studies showed that pure cortisolic acid also lowered cholesterol levels, is an anti-inflammatory, exhibited antifungal, antiviral properties, and had antioxidant properties, which, as you know, is great when you've been overexposed to toxins. Now, before you head over to Amazon to look for banaba leaf, I need to warn you, there's a lot of junk out there. I know because I've looked myself. The truth is, many banaba tree supplements out there barely contain 1% of cortisolic acid. And let's be real, many of these Amazon supplements are not third-party tested, which means you have no idea what's in them. Some kid in a garage could be filling the pill with colored sand for all you know. I'm telling you this because I want you to be safe, but also because I don't want you to waste your money. If you want banaba leaf that is safe and actually lowers your blood sugar levels, then there are 3 things you need to look for. Did they conduct a double-blind clinical study? This is the gold standard of medical research. When shopping for any supplement, make sure the ingredients were part of a placebo-controlled double-blind study. And if it was, make sure the test was also done on humans, not animals. What works on mice doesn't always work on humans. The second thing to look out for: Are they using the exact banaba leaf extract that was used in the clinical study? This may sound obvious, but you'd be surprised. Almost every company I've come across neglects to use the same exact ingredients used in the research for their formulation. What many supplement companies do is find a cheap replacement from China, for example. Unless you're getting that exact same ingredient, you can't expect to get the same results from the study, right? Okay, the last thing to look for is, did they use the same dose as the study? Please, make sure they are using the same amount of the ingredient that was used in the double-blind study. What good would it be if you got the right ingredient but not enough of it? Now, I know this might sound overwhelming and like a lot of work, but today, you're in luck because I've done all this work for you. After I read about the banaba tree, I set out to find the perfect extract. I read through thousands of studies and looked at hundreds of extracts, and there was only one that really caught my attention. This banaba tree extract was part of a placebo-controlled, double-blind clinical study. It was conducted on humans, not mice, and the extract contained 18% corosolic acid. 18, not 1%. But what really got me excited is it actually worked. In the study, people who took this corosolic acid for just 1 week saw their fasting glucose levels drop by 15%. And after 2 weeks, they saw levels drop as much as 21%. After I found this study, I told my colleagues at Simple Promise about it. I don't mean to brag, but as the lead researcher at Simple Promise, we are one of the best supplement companies in the USA. We walk the talk. All our supplements are made in the USA. We manufacture all our products in CGMP facilities. Our products are third-party tested, both by the manufacturer, and we also pay more to have an independent lab test it, again, to verify that what is on the label is what's inside the capsule. And all our products contain the same forms and dosages used in clinical research. After I found the corosolic acid used in the double-blind clinical studies, through our industry connections, we were able to source the very same corosolic acid. And now you can try it yourself. We're calling it Nutonen. Nutonen is an easy-to-swallow soft gel capsule filled with one of the most potent banaba leaf extracts in the market today. It contains 18% corosolic acid, and it works. It showed an over 10% drop in fasting and postprandial blood glucose levels. It also works fast. Instead of taking 4 to 48 weeks to see any results, Nutonen can significantly decrease fasting and post-meal blood glucose in just 1 week. It does this without causing hypoglycemia. Now, you may be wondering if it's safe or if it has any side effects. This particular banaba leaf extract has a proven record of safety, and no adverse events were observed in the clinical trials. Additionally, there were no changes in blood pressure, blood cell count, hemoglobin, or liver or kidney function. So now I hear you asking, Alex, how well will Nutonen work for me? Well, I don't have a crystal ball. Everyone is different. Well, let me share a few stories from folks who put Nutonen to their own personal test. Meta C couldn't believe her results. Here's her story.
One day I was all the way to 91. When I saw it drop down to 91 was simply, I was so happy. It was fantastic. I haven't seen that number ever before.
And Ben Mess's response is why we created Nutonen in the first place. He told us,
I got my blood sugar levels checked daily, once or twice a day 2 hours after I ate, and my blood sugar levels went down about 25, 30 points.
I can't wait to hear your success story too. Just one little capsule a day is all it takes to start feeling in control of your blood sugar again. However, I have to tell you this. Due to the strict guidelines I insist on, Nutonen is more expensive to create than other supplements. The marketing team at Simple Promise tells me we should charge at least $79 for a 30-day supply. And that's completely understandable when you consider all of the research, development, and testing that went into making Nutonen. But I also know how frustrating it is to be at the mercy of big pharma and going broke paying for your meds. I don't want the price to get in the way of you trying Nutonen.
That's why I'm giving you 50% off your first order. Today, what I'm going to do is give you a 30-day supply for only $39.
Now, to be frank, we're barely covering our manufacturing, fulfillment, and operational costs by pricing it this low. That's why our accountant has been worried. But we do business differently than most companies. We're not about the quick hit, one-shot sale. I want a long-term relationship with my customers. That's why we're willing to lose a little money now to let you try Nutonen. And because I know that once you see and feel the results for yourself, you'll be a customer for life. Today, you can get one bottle of a 30-day supply for less than $2 a day. Or you can stock up and save more. Many people decide to have a supply for several months just to make sure they have it for themselves or their loved ones. Or they stock up so they don't run out.
If you want to stock up and save, we're going to make it even more affordable by allowing you to order a 90-day supply for only $99, which is a $138 discount. Or, if you are very committed, you can get a 180-day supply for only $174, saving you $300.
Whatever you decide, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Simple Promise has a 365-day money-back guarantee. You can try every capsule in the bottle for a full year. And if you don't feel it gets you the desired results, you can return it, no questions asked. So, right now, just place an order and say maybe to Nutonen. Then once the bottle arrives in a few short days from now, start taking one capsule a day and see how it feels. Most of our loyal Nutonen customers fall in love with what it can do for them. There really is zero risk because of this guarantee. And if for some reason Nutonen isn't working out, just call or email the Simple Promise U.S.-based customer service team 24/7, 365 days of the year, and they'll send a refund for the entire order immediately. Now, to get your hands on your own personal supply of Nutonen and take advantage of this one-time special offer, simply choose the bottle amount and click the Add to Cart button below. As soon as you do that, you'll be taken to a secure order page that looks like this. By the way, if the secure page takes a few seconds to load, please be patient. I anticipate hundreds of people might be watching this presentation at the same time as you, and that could make your page a little slow. Once you get to the order page, it will let you know if we still have Nutonen in stock. If it is, I urge you, order now so you don't miss out. As I mentioned, Nutonen is more expensive and time-consuming to manufacture, so our inventory is sometimes limited. If we run out, don't worry. You can always check back in on our website for the usual retail price of $79 per bottle. But if you're really curious about what Nutonen can do for you, don't wait. Click the button below to get started. And if you're still hovering over the Add to Cart button and wondering if it could work for you, I encourage you to listen to the stories. I can tell you until I'm blue in the face how powerful Nutonen is, but my thoughts are less important. It's their stories of transformation that matter. Lydia Donaldson confessed.
I'm not diabetic, but a couple years ago I went to the doctor because I wasn't feeling good. My doctor told me that I better start taking care of myself because I was borderline diabetic. I was in shock when my doctor said that I was borderline diabetic.
But then Lydia said she tried Nutonen, and she's thrilled.
This is so simple. You just take a pill in the morning and you're done. So I like that. I haven't noticed getting hangry at all. It's nice to know that there's something out there that's natural that I can take that helps me feel more cheerful and more upbeat and just have a little bit more energy throughout my day.
Eve likes not having to plan her snacks and meals.
Nutonen has worked for me in many ways I can't even express. It has helped me so much with my eating habits. I've even lost weight.
Phoebe was skeptical, but then she tried Nutonen.
When I was introduced to Nutonen, I was very skeptical. I was kind of wondering how this was going to go. I'm thinking, oh boy, what's, a new product. But I was pleasantly surprised. And within a week's time, my number has went down. My A1C has been down 2 points. I am not even drinking decaf coffee. I don't feel the reason to, because I'm having so much energy, this new product, that I don't need it.
Now it's time to make a decision. Please don't ignore everything inside this presentation. You don't have to be a slave to poor blood sugar. You don't need to count calories or give up sweets forever. You shouldn't dread your next doctor's visit and what it will mean. That's no way to live. Instead, imagine not living with constant fatigue and frustration. Imagine having energy that lasts all day long. And imagine worrying less about spikes in your blood sugar, moods, when you have pizza, pasta, or the occasional piece of chocolate cake. What would it feel like if you were in control of your blood sugar? What if you could reduce fasting glucose levels by 20% in a little over a week with just a little help from nature? Nutonen is that powerful. That's why I want to make it easy for you to say yes to Nutonen today. Begin your transformation as soon as possible. Don't wait another second. Choose the option that best suits you below. Again, you have nothing whatsoever to risk. In fact, I am taking all the risk. Even if you use an entire bottle and send it back, I'll still process your full refund. I'm so happy I can tell you about this incredible discovery for your blood sugar health and provide you with the opportunity to try Nutonen for yourself. Just click the button below to grab your bottle at the special limited time price while you still can. Order Nutonen now. On the next page, you'll see full ordering instructions, and you'll see the money-back guarantee in writing. Again, this is Alex, and thank you for your time.
Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this review helped in a way or another. Make sure to click on the link in the description and receive my special discounted promo price.